about it. Latest football scores.
There was a time, not too long ago, when the world waited for the sound of footsteps on the driveway. Because that sound meant one thing. The newspaper had arrived. A bundle of ink, paper, and yesterday's events, yet somehow, it felt like the beginning of the day. Before smartphones, before social media, before news traveled at the speed of a notification, the newspaper was our window to the world. A window made of folded sheets and smudged fingertips. Today, we're unearthing one of the most influential objects in human history, the humble newspaper. Welcome back to Retro Treasure Unearthed, where forgotten technology and fading culture come back to life. Newspapers are everywhere in our memories, on breakfast tables, school libraries, barber shops, waiting rooms, bus seats, even wrapped around street food. They were part of the rhythm of life, shaping how people learned, talked, argued, and understood their world. But the story of newspapers begins long before our nostalgic mornings. It's a journey through empires, revolutions, industrial booms, and the rise of mass media itself. So let's roll back the pages, all the way to where it began. Early origins. Hundreds of years before headlines screamed from newsstands, people still needed information. Roman citizens gathered around carved stone tablets called the Acta Diurna, posted in public places. They were the earliest daily updates, announcing politics, events, even gladiator results. In ancient China, during the Tang and Song dynasties, small handwritten news sheets traveled between officials. Slowly, society realized something powerful. Information was currency, and whoever controlled it shaped the world. But true newspapers, printed, shareable, distributed, emerged in the 1600s, when printing presses unlocked the ability to reach thousands instead of dozens. Those early newspapers weren't entertainment yet. They were serious, dense, sometimes dangerous to publish. But they started forming something society never had before: a shared conversation. The rise of mass printing. As printing improved, newspapers spread across Europe, then sailed across oceans to the Americas and Asia. By the 1700s and 1800s, they weren't just informing people, they were shaping revolutions. People read about new ideas. About independence. About rights. Those printed words fanned the flames that changed nations. Then came steam-powered printing. Suddenly, newspapers weren't rare objects for elites, they became everyday companions for the masses. One press could print thousands of copies an hour. And for the first time, information traveled faster than a horse. Cities woke up to newspaper boys shouting headlines on street corners. Every issue became a snapshot of the world: photos, scandals, political debates, inventions, disasters, triumphs. The newspaper became something you didn't just read, you relied on. Golden Age. By the late 1800s and early 1900s, newspapers reached their peak. Big headlines. War reports. Classified ads. Comics. Sports scores. Movie showtimes. Sunday editions so thick you could barely bend them. Homes waited for them. Barbershops passed them around. Cafe tables practically demanded one be there. Print journalists were celebrities. Cartoonists were cultural icons. Entire cities moved according to what appeared in ink. And the paper itself became a character in people's daily lives. The smell of fresh newsprint. The rustle as you opened a page. The little ink marks left on your fingertips. It was more than information, it was ritual. Newspapers in the modern era. Even as radio appeared, then television, newspapers stayed strong. They had something those new mediums didn't: space. Space to explain, investigate, dive deeper. Newspapers captured moments that shaped generations. The moon landing. The end of wars. Historic elections. Technological breakthroughs. national tragedies and worldwide celebrations. People kept newspapers as time capsules, folded inside scrapbooks, tucked in drawers, saved for decades. Some of you watching probably still have old papers: the day a country won independence, the day a famous figure passed, the day the world changed. Every headline preserved a piece of our collective memory. There's a warmth to newspapers that digital screens can't imitate. Maybe you remember flipping straight to the comic page, or checking the horoscope. Circle job listings with a pen. Cutting out movie ads, coupons, recipes. Waiting for your favorite sports column. Or simply enjoying the quiet moment, you, a cup of coffee, and crisp pages turning in your hands. Even the way newspapers were used around the house had a kind of charm, as book covers, shoe polish mats, window cleaning wipes, even emergency umbrellas during unexpected rain. And of course, that familiar sound of the newspaper landing on the doorstep in the early morning, almost like the day had officially begun. It wasn't just reading. It was a feeling. Then, the internet arrived. Information moved from paper to pixels. From once-a-day updates to instant, non-stop feeds. Newspapers didn't disappear overnight, but slowly, their role shifted. Less printing. Fewer delivery routes. Shrinking pages. Fewer readers. Some papers adapted and survived online. Others closed their doors completely, taking decades of history with them. Yet despite the decline, newspapers didn't fully vanish. Collectors preserve them. Libraries store them. Archivists scan them. And older generations still fold them open each morning, keeping a tradition alive. The newspaper may seem like simple paper and ink, but it carried our stories, our triumphs, our struggles, our memories. It connected people long before the digital age, creating a shared understanding of the world. In its pages, humanity left footprints, daily, detailed, honest. And even if newspapers fade away, the impact they made remains part of us. Thank you for joining me as we unearthed another piece of our shared past. If you enjoyed this trip through time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you won't miss the next treasure we uncover. This is Retro Treasure Unearthed. See you in the next episode.